This week on LandLeader Television.
We are the leaders of the land. Land is what we live on. It can be explored, built upon, and cultivated. Land holds our wildlife, crops and livestock, and the homes in which we live. It provides a resource for your family. It's what our forefathers settled and our brave fight to protect. It asks that you respect it, keep it free, and put back what you have taken. At times, it's purchased, sold, and traded, and it's passed on from generation to generation. So it's our duty as land brokers to be champions of conservation, habitat management, and ownership. We possess a deep love for our land and respect for all it provides. We are LandLeader.
The following segment is brought to you by Hayden Outdoors, farm, ranch, and recreational real estate.
My name's Caleb Oldendorf. We're in the east side of Westcliff, Colorado. Canyon City is about an hour. Denver, we're 2.5 to 3 hours. In the Unit 84 hunting area. This place here I built in 2005. The whole thing was kind of built around the idea of making things very easy as far as a horse operation, extremely low maintenance, and built so that it was easier on everything. It's less time working and more time actually enjoying things and riding. This place actually sits on 70 acres. We were actually kind of the original people back here. There was only one other house for a long time. Yeah, it was a multi-generational ranch, supposedly before that, but then just as times came along, it had to be basically sold off. This is all a Morton barn. So there's 6 stalls in here, 5 of which have the runs outside, and with the house built above it, again, just for ease of time and convenience. As far as for horse people, it doesn't get much better. Everybody always talks about living close to your animals. Well, here you live in one. The views are spectacular. You can see every peak of the Sangre de Cristos, 365 days. They're right out the front door every morning. The basic building here is 36 by 60, and then over here there's a 12 by 60 shop that is insulated, heated for wintertime. There's the 2 horse running sheds with the pipe pens. There's also additional hay storage. We have storage big enough for living quarters, horse trailers, RVs, things like that. The water in this place is really what I think is one of the best features. It's always running for the animals. The creek here runs nonstop. There's several abundant springs on the property, along with ponds. There's 10 horses on here right now, and that won't even begin to put a dent in the grass this year. We don't feed any of the horses or livestock, usually 8 or 9 months out of the year, just feed through the winter months. The deer, we always have really good deer hunting, things like that in the fall. The elk are within very close vicinity. Sometimes wintertime we do get quite a few elk actually down here in the meadows and around the house here pretty close. So within the Sangre de Cristos, within a 30-minute drive, there is 52 high mountain lakes, and there's horseback riding, hiking, mountain climbing, about anything you can think of. You could put up hay. Everything on this property is fenced, cross-fenced, kind of ready to go. It's a turnkey operation. There is also an additional 2 35s, which could be an additional 70 acres that could be purchased along with this. There is also possibly another 35 that could guarantee deeded access to the National Forest. I've known Twyla for a long time, since high school. Just knowing the publicity and the Hayden Outdoors trademark and thing, it was definitely a very, very easy decision to go to Hayden Outdoors.
I am Twyla Giroux, and I work with Hayden Outdoors Real Estate. Right now, we are kind of in the heart of the Rockies on a ranch that sits right on Antelope Creek. It is an outstanding horse property. There's another little creek that runs through here as well. It's got some nice hay ground. This current owner uses it for pasture. The facility is just well thought out. It's got a great outdoor arena that's lit. It does have a little greenhouse. It's ready to rock and roll. Custom built home, built and finished by a master builder. They paid a lot of attention to detail, and it's just cowboy, it's just Western. We also do have another 35 acres that'll get you deeded access into the National Forest. There's a lot of opportunity here to own a nice piece of ground, and you don't have to break the bank to do it. So it's secluded and it's private and well set up.
My business has kind of grown bigger and bigger, and I just need to be a little bit closer to town for kind of more of a central location. If it wasn't for that, there definitely wouldn't be any reason that we'd be selling.
This segment was brought to you by OTTERBOX, building extraordinary products to enhance your life, and by Cinch Jeans and Shirts, the leader in premium Western wear clothing since 1996. The Cimarron Valley Ranch boasts over 45,000 acres of land spread along the historic Santa Fe Trail in Colorado and Oklahoma. This ranch runs along 22 miles of the Cimarron River and supports up to 2,000 cows using rotational grazing pasture, turnkey ranching operations, and ample water from the river and ponds to stock tanks and 10 pivot irrigated circles. Excellent hunting for elk, deer, quail, turkey, and more are found on this rare contiguous ranch. Call Dax Hayden for more information or visit HaydenOutdoors.com.
Out here, there's no boss, no 9 to 5, no vacation days. You see, this is more than a job. It's a calling. It's the sweat, the grit, the worry, the wonder, and the truth that you were born to lead this life.
Now's a great time to buy your next farm, ranch, or recreational property. The premier broker members of LandLeader represent the finest properties available on the market today, from working cattle ranches to income-producing farm ground, equestrian facilities and agricultural land to sporting properties and land rich with mineral rights. Let the LandLeader Network help you find your next piece of land. Tour thousands of properties for sale online at landleader.com. LandLeader Television is brought to you by OTTERBOX. At work or at play, OTTERBOX enables your everyday. Cinch Jeans and Shirts, your leader in Western wear. Gunworks, 1,000 yards capable right out of the box. Western Heritage Consulting and Engineering, built on grit. Blue Otter Polarized Sunglasses, the very best. Covert Scouting Camera, top quality trail cameras with unmatched support. SWAROVSKI OPTIK, perfection meets tradition. Kevin's Catalog, the place for Kevin's fine outdoor gear and apparel. And by Feed the Party, the best steaks and meats at the best prices. The following segment is brought to you by Timberland Realty. Let us help you find a place to plant your roots.
Hi, I'm Brian Bullard, broker with Timberland Realty. Today we're sitting here on property owned by John and Tim Sabella that we call the Iron Furnace Tract. We're located in Venango County, Pennsylvania.
The Iron Furnace property rests conveniently near Interstate 80 with easy access to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. It's the perfect escape from the hustle and bustle of city life.
We have some beautiful key features to this property. The Iron Furnace namesake is an iron furnace actually from the 1830s that is resident on this property when they used to smelt iron here. The iron furnace sits alongside Mill Creek, which is a first-class rainbow and brown trout stream that flows through the property with a beautiful waterfall as well.
My name's John Sabella. We're in Rockland Township, Venango County, Pennsylvania. We own about 349 acres of forest land, recreational property. I like the combination between timberland and recreational opportunities here. There's a Rails to Trails for bicyclists. The Rails to Trails is a program where certain groups that are recreational oriented will reclaim old railroad beds and make them into recreational trails. It's pretty convenient to the property. The bike trail is easily accessible.
Directly adjacent to that is the Allegheny River. With this property, you have access to Mill Creek for hiking and fishing, or you can work your way down to the bike trail, bring your bikes, sit, listen to the bald eagles, and just watch the river.
There's a lot of hiking, ATV, hunting, fishing. We built roads. We constructed shale pits and used that stone to build the roads. And over the last 10 years, we've kind of maintained those roads.
The access on the property comes from multiple sources. We have abundant road frontage that goes along with this property. There's also tremendous internal access, former logging trails, and there really are very few areas on this property that you cannot access. You can get most anywhere on this tract. In many areas, there are extremely long lengths of road frontage where the property spans both sides of the main access roads. It is predominantly forested in mixed species. We have a hardwood forest component. We also have a softwood forest component, predominantly hemlock and white pine. There's some very, very beautiful hemlock and white pine on the property that have, many trees here probably, just as an estimate, well over 100 years old.
The volume and density of both the hardwood and softwood saw timber means an opportunity for long-term timberland investment income, in addition to all the other recreational and amenity values this property has to offer.
Managed properly, this property will provide long-term sustained yields of quality forest products for lifetimes to come. We're in an area of Pennsylvania where the wildlife here is abundant. We have a good solid white-tailed deer population. The area is frequently used by turkey, bear. We have an abundance of game here.
It just amazes me every time we walk into the valley of the property up Mill Creek how remote this part of Venango County can be.
You can have all the peace and quiet, but yet be close to 100% of all the amenities anybody could ever want from a recreation perspective.
We had plans for the property when we first purchased it, and since then we've bought other properties, and there was a lot of things I would have liked to have done down here, but I can see now that I'm just not going to have the time to do it. So maybe the next owner can have fun with it.
This segment was brought to you by Gunworks, 1,000 yards right out of the box. And by Blue Otter Polarized Sunglasses. Don't settle for anything less than the best.
Honey Break Lodge is a majestic site towering over the cypress trees of scenic Larto Lake. With 6 lodge suites, 26 beds, and our camp that can host 96, Honey Break can accommodate any event. Visit us at honeybreak.com.
The Climber, a new ultralight design by Gunworks. The Climber is the pinnacle of lightweight, long-range design. Design yours at gunworks.com.
Land is where it all begins. From farmland and working cattle ranches to hunting properties and recreational retreats. We aren't your typical real estate agents. We choose boots over dress shoes and trucks over sports cars any day. We hunt, fish, raise cattle, and grow crops. We understand land.
Now you can live the Honey Break experience. We carry top brands in waterfowl and outdoor clothing, as well as a full line of Honey Break logo t-shirts, souvenirs, and gifts. Visit us at the Pro Shop or online at honeybreak.com.
The following segment is brought to you by California Outdoor Properties. It's a lifestyle.
Give us a call when you can.
My name is Mary Sinclitico, and we are at the Pescadero Ocean View Ranch in Pescadero, California. Wow, I don't know where to begin. The biggest thing is that it's so close to San Francisco and the Bay Area. The location is just tremendous. It's just about an hour to San Francisco. If you go south, you're in Santa Cruz. If you just go north, in 30 minutes, you can be in Half Moon Bay. What makes that so important is that you can live here full time. That's one thing, is the location. Yet you're here and you're miles away and so beautiful. You can look out at the ocean. The little town of Pescadero is only 2.5 miles away. It's just a lovely location. And it's more than just a bedroom community. It is a community unto itself. We're very fortunate to live here. We've been here 20 years. I love Pescadero. It's just a great place. And people come for miles around and have for years. When you mention Pescadero, everybody asks about Duart's. Pescadero is just, it's kind of an amazing conglomeration of things for being such a small town. There's a tremendous number of recreational opportunities. Many people use the area for bicycling, kayaking, hiking. There's half a dozen state parks within 5 miles of this place. Pescadero State Beach, you've got Pebble Beach, just a tremendous variety and all very easy to access. And this is before you even get on the ranch. We came here with the idea that we wanted peace and quiet. My husband loves quiet, and I needed just some time, some space. We had horses, and I had a young daughter who was just entering high school. We came here, searching for that, and we really found it. The light here is so beautiful, the nature, the sky, the wildlife, everything. It was just what the doctor ordered, and here I am 20 years later. One of the main things about this property is the diversity. The main residence, which is up on a hill, which has panoramic ocean views. You go down to the valley, which has the 20 acres of prime ag and a large pond. You keep driving and you're up at the vintage farmhouse where you look out and you see rolling grasslands. The views are all, they're diverse. You can go on the property and see an oak meadow, the ocean, or rolling grasslands. The main house is a transitional style Mediterranean house. It's 5,100 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 full baths, 2 half baths. It has a library, a tower view room, and a rooftop lookout. And we are the second owners of it. Other residence on the property is a vintage farmhouse. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, has the original clawfoot tub, wood stove heat. We use that primarily as a rental property. It's far enough away from the main house that we've used it over the years as a rental. The prior owners used that as a bunkhouse or a guest house. So then in terms of the utility outbuildings, we've got a fairly large cattle barn, which we use for our horses and our goats. You've got a large equipment barn area that my husband uses, kind of a skunk works for his toy making business. The minute I saw the pond, I knew I had to have this place. It's really rare to have that size of a recreational water all to yourself. It was just really very beautiful. That's where we usually entertain on the property. We've parked a vintage Airstream down there to give us a little shelter, kitchen, bathroom, and we have a boat dock out there that Ray built me as kind of a gift. It's just heaven down there. There's quite a bit of water on the property. We have a seasonal stream in addition to the pond. We've got a couple of ag wells. We got one up here on the house that services the landscaping. Near the vintage farmhouse, we have another clear well.
This segment was brought to you by Covert Scouting Cameras. Remain best in the game with Covert Scouting Cameras. And by SWAROVSKI OPTIK. Perfection meets tradition.
I want to be silent, and I want to be lethal. I want every advantage. With the new covert cell cameras, I'll finally have the edge I've been missing. The only way they'll know I'm here is if they hear my heart beating through my chest.
Here at Swarovski OPTIK, a lot of time is spent on perfecting a few great things until every idea we touch enhances every moment in the field. For a quarter century, the Swarovski OPTIK SLC has been making hunters' dreams become reality. Feel the wilderness every time you step outside.
The following segment is brought to you by California Outdoor Properties. It's a lifestyle.
Give us a call when you can.
We purchased the house from a gentleman by the name of D. Hawk and his wife Farrell, who put the main house up. He was the founder of Visa International. The vintage farmhouse, the lore of that is it was occupied by bootleggers back in the early part of the 1900s. Whenever you mention that house, everybody will tell you about who they know that were married down there. There was an old timer, I talked to him about the property, and he said that he used to cut barley here back in the 50s. Wildlife is one of the main components of this place, just starting with the obvious, the deer and turkeys. There's bobcats, there's mountain lion. We see a little lizard running around here. There's all sorts of birds of prey, just about anything you can imagine. I first met Todd. I called on an internet ad that he had for one of his other properties. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago. He was quite knowledgeable. He took Ray and I out to see the land. We didn't end up making an offer, but I remembered him. When it came time to put this property on the market, we had it listed for quite a while with different agents, and I was looking for somebody different, and I chose Todd, and I haven't been sorry. We are so pleased with everything he's done for us. He's made more of an effort to come out here all the way from Vacaville than some of the local people did, so we're really pleased.
My name's Todd Renfrew. I'm with California Outdoor Properties. I'm sitting in an amazing property just outside the ocean in Pescadero, California. It obviously has a beautiful house, the views of the ocean, but what really struck me is the land. I drove around with the owners, we looked at the property, and it's just, the layout is just perfect. It has its own private little valley, the hay barn, the cow barn, the vintage farmhouse are all have their own little niche in this property, and it's put together really well. They did a wonderful job with all the trails, hiking, horseback riding, whatever you want to do, it's all here. It's your own little park right outside the ocean. There's 3 legal parcels that you could do some lot lines to move things around. There's 2 11-acre parcels at the end of the property that have ocean views that you could develop if you want to. The entire property is special. If it was up to me, I wouldn't change this property, I'd just leave it the way it is. It's set up just really nice. As you sell land, water is probably the most important thing to a property. The owners have done a great job. The water storage, there's tanks, they're nicely hidden so you can't see them. You obviously have the pond, which is just a really impressive pond. It's a healthy pond, and it also can be used as agricultural. Obviously, with all this water, it's a magnet for wildlife, and it's almost like a growing deer here, because there's deer everywhere. The quail, the turkey, it's a sanctuary.
We've lived here for 20 years, and we're now both in our 60s, and it's really time to retire. My husband is fixing up a 1972 Airstream. He's doing a ground-up restoration. So we're going to see more of the family. We're going to do a little traveling, spend a lot more time together. And then I don't know, but that's basically why we're selling. We're just going to retire. And we're going to tour the country for a while in our Airstream.
For more information on how to feature your property on LandLeader TV, please visit landleader.com.